let's begin actually, given what we were just talking about, let's start on our backs. And we're going to begin in a Supta Baddha Konasana pose. So if you find that this is just a bit too much for you on your back, then instead make your feet a little bit wider, maybe about as wide as your mat. Let your knees knock toward each other, and just find a distance that works best for you where you feel supported. If you're feeling comfortable enough to take a Supta Baddha Konasana, then let the soles of your feet come together, knees out wide, arms alongside your body. And then start to adjust to see where you feel a little bit more comfortable in your low back. So you might want to press down through the outer edges of your feet and your palms, so lift up your hips and slide your tailbone down just a bit, perhaps finding a little bit more spaciousness. And then consider, for whichever option you've chosen on your back, to press to the back of your head and your upper arms to lift up your back. Slide your shoulder blades down slightly so that you're pointing the fronts of your shoulders down toward the mat, and then release back down. Perhaps you might find a little more openness through your collarbones. Take a few breaths here. Recognize the physical space that you occupy. Recognize the space that your breath takes up when you inhale and as you exhale. And then recognize the kind of space that your thoughts take up. Is there a place that they tend to gravitate toward? Do you notice that you tend to have negative thoughts, positive thoughts, dismissive, judgmental, embracing? Very likely it's a combination of many things. And then recognizing the kind of space that your thoughts do take up. Just take a very quick moment to ascertain whether you are embodying Ahimsa, which is non-harm, in your thoughts. Notice the places that you do. And throughout this practice, if you choose to take the challenge, my challenge to you is to send your thoughts to Ahimsa, whether that means the way that you enter or exit or experience posture, your reaction to it. And as we all know in our yoga practice, a lot of times thoughts seemingly out of nowhere pop up, seemingly unconnected to your yoga practice. Notice if you can still apply Ahimsa in those moments. And then if you haven't already, place one hand on belly and one hand on heart if that is comfortable for you. Allow your breath to become more full, sending the breath down all the way down to the lowest part of your belly, maybe starting to lift up the hands, coming up to the center of your body and up through your chest. And as you exhale, feeling that reverse pattern. Several more breaths like this in this fashion. And in your next several breaths, breathe in the dedication that you've set, whether it is to practice Ahimsa or something else that resonates with you more fully. If you've taken your knees wide in the Supta Baddha Konasana, take your hands to the backs of your thighs and start to walk your feet down to the mat and your knees back up. If you've taken an opposite shape, start to place your feet in line with your hips. And then pull both knees in towards your chest. You can take your hands to the backs of your thighs, at the fronts of your shins, perhaps rock a little from side to side. Once again, be kind. Extend your left leg out in front of you, flex your foot, and then extend your right leg up toward the ceiling. Take your hands to interlace behind your thigh. If you need to bend your knee in order to do that, or if you'd like to use a strap, you can do that. Press your left hip down toward the mat, your right hip down to the mat. Press your right heel towards the ceiling and start to draw your thigh closer towards you. On an exhale, release the activity of both of your legs. Bend your right knee. Take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh and draw your knee across your body for a gentle supine twist. Send your vision over toward the right, turning your head if that's comfortable for you. On an exhale, take the right knee back up to center. Pull your right thigh towards your right armpit. Your left leg can stay extended if this feels okay on your low back. And then release the right leg, extend it out in front of you. Lift your left leg up, extend your heel up. Interlace your fingertips in the opposite way around the left thigh. Press your right hip to the mat, flexing your toes. Press your left hip down. Press up through your left heel and start to draw your left thigh closer towards you. Every time you find a little bit of movement, allow that to happen on your exhales. Then release the tension of both legs. Release the clasp of your hands around the left thigh. Bend your knee. Draw the knee across your body. Supine twist. Adjust as you need. Maybe send your gaze over to the left. On an exhale, take your head and knee back up to center and pull, keeping your left knee bent. Draw your knee towards your left armpit. See if you can find a stretch here. And again, if this doesn't feel good on your back or your right leg, you can bend your knee and place your foot to the mat instead. All right, release your left leg out in front of you so that your legs are extended out. Come to Tadasana on the back of your body. So flex your feet towards your face. Start to pull your hip tips up towards your ribs slightly, just so you can engage your core, your arms alongside your body. You can either have your palms facing upward or edges of your pinkies into the mat. Active through your fingertips, wrap through your collarbones, soft through your face. Lift up through the crown of your head, even here. And then exhale. Draw your knees to your chest once again. So if it feels okay in your back, we're going to rock up and down the length of our spine to come to a forward fold at the top of the mat, maybe without using your hands. If that doesn't feel good, then rock over to one side and make your way to a forward fold any way you would like. And also, it helps if you come up on an exhale. It gives you a little bit of strength through your core as you come up. So first, take a ragdoll pose. Make sure your feet are about hips width distance. Bend your knees generously and take your elbows to your hands, or take another variation that feels right to you. Release both hands down to the mat. Keep both knees bent. Place the left hand directly below your face into the mat. Inhale, put your right fingertips up toward the ceiling. Maybe start to straighten the right leg. And then press down through both feet equally. Wrap your inner left elbow toward the front of your mat. Really pressing away. Lifting up through your right fingertips, reaching out through the crown of your head. Find that Tadasana like we did when we were lying down. Next, exhale, take your head down. Place your right hand where the left is. Inhale, left fingertips come up, maybe straightening through the left leg. Again, inner elbow of right arm, reaching out in front of you. Press down through the right hand as you lift up through the left, and try to lengthen your spine. Use the resistance to help you here. Exhale, take it all the way back down. Forward fold. Breath in, halfway lift. Reach your heart forward. Press your feet down and away from each other. See if you can find a deep stretch here. Keeping that exhale, chest to thighs, forward fold once again. Reverse swan dive. Take your arms out and up toward the ceiling. Look up towards your thumbs. And on an exhale, take your hands to your heart center. Take your toes together, heels slightly apart. Sit low, utkatasana. Arms lift, point your pinkies toward each other. Exhale, fold, forward fold once again. Breath in, halfway lift, offer your heart. Exhale, fold to yourself, practicing Ahimsa. Step back to the top of a plank pose. For this one, on an exhale, lower all the way down to your mat so your belly is flat down. Take your arms out wide. We're going to take a wide arm cobra. Forehead is down. Inhale, prepare, low belly in. Press the tops of your feet. Exhale, press your fingertips and your feet. Roll up. Inhale, completely unfurl for your cobra pose. Exhale, wave it all the way back down. Press back to a child's pose. Toes touch. Knees are wide. Take one breath in here. One exhale. And then make your way back to a downward facing dog. Step your left foot in slightly, heel in. Step your right foot forward. Warrior one, ground down. Lift up your arms. Pull your right hip back, left hip forward. I'm going to take a heart opener here. So take cactus arms. Bring your elbows like they tap behind you. Sit a little bit more deeply into the right knee. Maybe send your gaze upward. Keep pressing to the outer edge of your left foot. And then on an exhale, tap your hands down to frame the front foot. Step right foot back to meet left. Vinyasa if you would like to take it. Option to take the wide arm cobra if you prefer. And make your way back to downward facing dog. Step your right foot in slightly, point the heel in, step your left foot forward. Warrior one, left side, arms lift up. Stay here just for a bit. Starting to scissor your thighs, which is gonna pull your right hip forward, left hip back. Heart opener once again. Cactus arms, palms face out in front of you. Active fingertips, whether your fingers are together or very wide. Totally up to you. Send your chin up slightly if that helps you. Find some openness. And then on an exhale, plant your hands down. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Option for vinyasa, and we'll come back to downward facing dog. Spread your fingertips wide, press the mat down and away from you. Press your inner thighs back. Release through your jaw. And when you're ready, bend your knees, look towards the top of your mat, and on an exhale, travel to the top of your mat, forward fold, breath in, halfway lift. Offer your heart. Exhale, honor yourself, give yourself that kindness. Sit low, utkatasana. Arms lift. Exhale, come up to standing. Bring your hands back to your heart and then alongside your body. Tadasana posture, 3 breaths. When you're ready, inhale, arms lift up, send your chin up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, give your heart away. Exhale, provide it back to yourself as you bow. Step back to the top of a plank pose. And then press up and back to downward facing dog unless you feel you truly need a vinyasa. And if you do, then please take it. From your downward facing dog, inhale, right leg comes up and back, bend your knee, open up through your hips. And then right here, we're gonna move to a flip dog. So take a little bend to your left knee, drop your right foot behind you, spiral around, lift your arm up and back, press to both feet, lift your heart up. On an exhale, take your right hand back down. The rest of your body will follow you back in the tripod dog. On an exhale, take your knee to your nose and place your foot between your hands towards your right thumb. Roll weight to right, left palm, peel your right fingertips up, open up, spin all your toes away from you and lift up your hips. If you'd like, you can sweep your arm up and over your head as well as you continue to press away from the mat with your left hand. On your next exhale, place your right hand back down to the mat, cycle all of your toes back. So you're in a low lunge. Have your fingertips away from the mat and then lift all the way up. High crescent lunge. Maybe wiggle your left foot back so you can spike your heel over your toes. On an exhale, you're going to swing your arms back as you lean forward, right hip draws back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach your heart forward, fingertips come back. One more time like that, inhale, lift up. Exhale, lean forward, fingertips come back, and then drop your hands down to frame your front foot. Step back to downward facing dog. Stay here for 3 breaths. Notice the difference and the sameness between the sides of your body. And then when you're ready, on your inhale, left leg comes up and back, bend your knee, open up through your hips, and then flip your dog, little bend to your right knee, drop your foot behind you, spiral around, open up. And then on an exhale, it will happen. Place your left foot down, hand down to the mat. Your left leg lifts up, back to that tripod dog. On an exhale, place your foot between your hands toward left thumb. Weight into right palm, peel your left fingertips up. And then spin your toes away from you, coming onto the razor edge of your back foot, lift your hips high. And then if you'd like, finding more space to the left side of your body, sweep your left arm up over your head. Keep pressing away with your right hand. On your next exhale, spin all toes back towards the front, left hand comes down. Find your stability first, and then let's shake it up. Lift your arms up for your high crescent lunge. Consider wiggling the back leg back so your heel is spiked above your toes. On an exhale, lean forward, sweep your arms back, keep your left hip drawing back. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Allow yourself like you feel like you might fly. Inhale, come up. Final time like that. Exhale, sweep it back. And then place your hands down to the mat. Step your left foot back to meet your left. Vinyasa, if you would like. We will meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg comes up and back. Bend your knee, open up through your hips. If you would like, take another flip dog. Stay here for 3 breaths. At the end of your third exhale, cycle back to the tripod dog. And on an exhale, place your foot between your hands towards your right thumb. Left palm into mat, put your fingertips up toward the ceiling. Option to spin your toes away from you. And if you've taken that option, maybe sweep your right arm up over your head. On an exhale, send all your toes back to the front, frame your front foot. Angle your left foot down like warrior 2. Drop your right thigh. And when you're ready, exhale, unravel to your warrior 2 posture. Make sure your shoulders are square towards the long side of your mat. And we're going to take Garudasana arms. So taking your left elbow underneath, wrapping once or twice. Keep the low lunge through your right leg. Inhale, lift up through your elbows. Look up towards your fingertips. Exhale, pull your elbows in. Curl in, let your back round. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, lift off. This time, unravel. Back to your warrior 2. On an exhale, cartwheel all the way down so that you are in a low lunge. Hover your fingertips away from the mat. Lift right back up. 3 times, we're going to sweep forward. Exhale, reach your heart forward, arms come back. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Inhale, come up. Exhale. This time, keep your arms behind you. Get a little bit of momentum. Maybe pop your left foot in just the slightest bit. And we're going to move to a warrior 3, placing the balance, all the weight on the right leg. If you ever need to tap the left leg down, that's perfectly fine. Keep your right thigh long, dropping your left hip. Activity through your left leg as much as through the standing leg. Shoulder blades back, low belly in. And then on an exhale, take your hands down to the mat and your left foot down to the mat. Ragdoll pose, option of your choice. 3 breaths. When you're ready, inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Come all the way up to standing, roots rise. And on an exhale, take your hands to your heart center. We're going to take Garudasana here. So you're going to bend through the right leg, cross your left thigh over, wrapping once or twice, or maybe placing that left toe onto the mat. Left elbow is on the bottom. Once again, sit low. Reach your hands away from your face. And then on an exhale, start to curl your elbows down towards your knees. Maybe you can stay right here. Squeeze your knees to the left slightly. When you're ready, start to lift up. Unravel, stand down. Reach your arms out towards the ceiling, send your chin upward. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Take several breaths here. Breathing your chest into your thumbs. Feel your thumbs pressing back to your chest. As you're ready, inhale. Arms lift up, send your chin up. Exhale, forward fold. Breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, bow to yourself. Make your way to downward facing dog, taking a vinyasa, or do not. What does your intention inform you to do? How can you allow that to guide this practice? From your downward facing dog, as you're ready, inhale, left leg comes up and back, bend your knee, open up through your hips, and then flip dog if you'd like to take it, if you've chosen that. 3 breaths once you get there. At the end of your third exhale, cycle all the way around, back to the tripod dog. Your left leg is up toward the ceiling. On an exhale, place your foot between your hands towards your left thumb. Weight to right palm, put your left fingertips up, low lunge twist. And then if you'd like to move with me, spinning all your toes away from you, IT band stretch, and an option to sweep your left arm up over your head, bicep near your ears. Keep your hips lifted up. On your next exhale, spin everything back to the front. Left hand comes down. Angle your right foot down like warrior two. Allow your left hip to drop and draw back. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, enter that warrior two posture. Make sure your shoulders are square to the long side of your mat. Garudasana arms, right elbow on the bottom, wrapping once or twice. And then keeping the deep bend in the left knee and activity through the right leg. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, curl your elbows in, arch your back spine. It's okay for your booty to stick back. Inhale, lift up, expand. Exhale, draw in. Once more. And then when you're ready, unravel, come back to warrior two. Look beyond your left middle finger. And then on an exhale, cartwheel toward the front of your mat so you're in a low lunge. Adjust and realign as you need. And then with strength and intention, determination, lift all the way up for your high crescent lunge. 3 times here. Exhale, sweep your arms back as you lean forward. Inhale, lift up. Second time, left thigh draws back. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, take it all the way back. And then from here, we're going to move to a warrior three, Virabhadrasana tree. Send your gaze forward, send your weight forward, maybe take a little hop forward with your right foot first, and then allow your left leg to become a little bit straighter, maybe straight, right leg behind you. Lifting up through your left thigh, straight your shoulders back, draw your low ribs in, tone your belly, let this help you here. Just breathe. If you fall out of the pose, just go back in. It's only yoga. Be kind to yourself. And then as you're ready, release your hands down to the mat and then the right foot down to the mat. In 3 breaths, ragdoll pose. Arm bind if you choose it, of your choice. Release the arm bind you've chosen, hands come down. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Make your way all the way up to standing, arms lift. And exhale, take your hands into your heart center. Garudasana. Shift your weight to your left leg, bend your knee. Cross your right thigh over the left thigh, and then wrap once or twice, pressing foot to the back of your calf. Right elbow goes on the bottom, wrapping once or twice. Once you found your stability, see if you can challenge it. And then maybe on an exhale, start to draw your elbows down toward your knees. Keep pulling your knees toward the right. So you're moving them more toward the center of your body. And then when you're ready, lift up, unravel, stand down, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Maybe allow your eyes to close. Find space through your collarbones. Grounding down through your feet. Rising up through the center of your head. As you're ready, inhale, hands lift up, send your gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Breath in, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step back to the top of a plank pose. On an exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Elbows grazing to your rib cage. Take your hands out wide for a wide cobra. Untuck toes, forehead is down. Inhale, low belly in, press your tops of feet. Exhale, keep your head heavy, start to roll up. Inhale, unravel, chin comes up. Exhale, wave it all the way back down. Twice more, your own breath. And bang back down to where your forehead is down. Bring your arms to your low back and interlace your fingertips. Press the heels of your hands together. Draw your shoulder blades up and back. Draw the heads of your shoulders up and back. And then start to extend your hands. Maybe your elbows become straight. You're going to extend your legs just a bit. So maybe rock over to one side. Make your leg extend a little bit straighter. A little bit more flesh moved away. And then reach your knuckles back, start to lift up your chest, put your toes back so much that your feet lift. Maybe you're lifting up your knees, maybe even your thighs. Allow your forehead to rest here. Not a part of the pose. And then exhale, release down, take one cheek to the mat. Unlace your fingers, let your palms shine up, your heels drop out to the sides. Notice if you can feel your heart beating into your mat, and that being reflected back to you. Take your hands alongside your body, send your chin back to center. Press up to your hands and your knees. Separate your knees out from each other so that you've got parallel shins. Inhale, drop your belly, lift up your hips and your heart, come to a cow pose. Exhale, press through your hands and knees, arch into a cat. Everybody in this cat class loves cats. Inhale, sweep your heart forward for the cow. Exhale, press up into cat. And then once more like that. Find the rhythm of your breath. Where can you offer yourself kindness in these postures? Come back to a neutral spine. Make your knees a little bit wider, toes to touch. Press back to Balasana, child's pose. Make this one first an active child's pose. Reaching your arms out long, come up onto your finger pads, wrapping your inner elbows up. Feel how your shoulder blades feel like they're kind of wrapping around, down. And as you do that, can you reach your hips back to your heels? With all this activity, can you allow your heart to drift down? Inhale, lift up halfway, and on an exhale, you're going to wander your torso over to the right as well as your arms. Exhale, release back down. You can let both arms be soft or really reach out far with your left fingertips. Inhale, lift up halfway. Wander toward the center and then drag it on over to the other side as well. Both arms can be soft or you can tug at the floor with your right fingertips. Lift up halfway once again. Come back to your Balasana child's pose. Then rise up to your hands and knees once again. Make sure that your shins are parallel to each other. We're going to take a cat-cow flow. If you'd prefer to take a traditional cow and cat, then stay where you are and move through those postures. And if you're coming with me, shift your hips back to your heels, arms out long, head drifts to the mat. Inhale, lift to your knees, palms lift up, send your chin upward. Exhale, bow to the modified child's pose. Inhale, slither your heart forward, belly is down for the cow. Exhale, press up to your cat pose. Really accentuate it as you shift your hips back to your heels again. Lift to your knees, gaze up, slide back, bend, exhale, bow. Inhale, slither your heart forward for cow. And exhale, press up into your cat. Come back to neutral spine, tuck your toes, make your way up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg comes up, bend your knee, open up through your hips. Once again, if you'd like to take it, flip dog, drop the foot behind you. Reach your heart up, fingertips away from you. Palm up or down. I prefer down. See what is best for you. How can you honor yourself the most? And then on an exhale, cycle all the way back so that you're in your tripod dog. On an exhale, take your knee to your right elbow and then place your foot to the outside of your right hand. We're going to set up for a lizard pose. So again, what is going to be best for you right now? Is it going to be a knee up or knee down? Allow yourself to be kind and causing no harm. What is the best option for you today? Make that choice. And then when you're ready, start to deepen the posture to where it makes sense to you, whether you're coming down to forearms and to elbows, using a prop. I think it's a prop day for me. And then ever so slightly, drawing your right knee in closer towards your right shoulder. Find the thoughtfulness and the generosity in this pose. When you're ready, start to press your way back up. If you took a prop or you came down to your forearms. And then walk your right foot to the inside. So it's no longer to the outside of your foot. Tuck your back toes, so lift up your back knee if you took a knee down option. Reach your heart forward and then start to straighten your front legs here in a modified pyramid pose. Spike up the back heel. You might need to wiggle your right foot forward. Try to make your right leg as long as it can possibly be. Reach your chest forward, then on an exhale, when you're ready, start to bring your chin down towards your shin. Inhale to lift halfway up. Flex your toes towards your face. And then go at it again. Release your toes back down to the mat. Rebend into your right knee. Replace your hands so that your hands are gently below your shoulders. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Make your way to downward facing dog. You can take a vinyasa if you would like. When you're ready, inhale, left leg up and back, bend your knee, open up through your hips. And if you want to take it, another foot dog. If you'd like to take that, once you get to where you're going, 3 breaths. And then on your third exhale, cycle back until you're in that tripod dog. On an exhale, take your knee to your left elbow and then place your foot to the outside of your left hand. Setting up for a lizard pose, it loosely approximates the one you did on the first side, whether your knee is up or down, whether you used a prop or not. Select all the things that you need for the most kind version of this posture for yourself for this practice. And on an exhale, start to deepen into the pose. Once again, how can you be generous to yourself and the most kind? Start to lift your way out of the pose. If you took bent elbows, came to your forearms, or used a prop. Start to walk your left foot to the inside. Pop up the back knee if you haven't already. So you're in a low lunge. And then begin to straighten the left leg. Wiggle the right foot back so that your heel is spiked above your toes. Pull your left hip back. You may need to walk your hands back a bit to make sure that your wrists are below your shoulders. Reach your heart forward. And then on an exhale, in your modified pyramid pose, starting to bring your chin towards your shin. Seeing if you can find level hips here. Inhale, lift up halfway. Flex your toes up towards your face. And then again, take a same approximation, reaching down. You might find that both your knees are bent. Totally fine. It's all the same pose. Lift up halfway. Release your left foot down to the mat. Rebend into the front knee. Replace your hands. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Option for a vinyasa, if you choose to take it, we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a very deep breath in, and then a very full exhale. Inhale, right leg, come up and back, and then take your knee towards your right wrist. We're gonna come to a pigeon pose. Start to bring your shin across your body. Take a look out to your left leg. Extend the left leg out further. Make sure that your heel is pointed straight up. And then square your shoulders toward the front of your mat. Press down through your right toes. So you've got lots of stability. Take your hands alongside your body. Shrug your shoulders back, send your gaze upward. And then when you're ready on an exhale, start to come forward to your pigeon pose. Notice if you're holding on to tension in your jaw. Let it go. And start to come out of this pose, lifting your way up, pressing into your hands. Bump your hips over to the right. And then carefully swing your left leg around to the front. So we can take a Jani Shirsasana. Your right knee will remain bent. Foot to your left thigh. Take your hands to the outsides of your thighs and just kind of move the skin and the flesh away. Inhale, lift up your arms. Pivot your torso over your left leg. And on an exhale, reach all the way forward. Once again, inhale, lift up halfway. Draw your right knee down and back. Drive your left hip to the mat. And then exhale. Deepen your posture. Inhale, lift up, halfway. Exhale, release your bind, take it back. Right hand behind you, fingertips point away. Stargazer pose, sweep your left arm around, come up onto your right shin. Left foot, extend your arm very far. Look towards your middle left finger or beyond it. And then on an exhale, swoop all the way around, cycle around, rolling over your hands and knees. Press back to Balasana, child's pose. Your version will be here for 5 breaths. After your 5th exhale, whenever that occurs, if you need a little bit more time, take what you need. Make your way back to your downward facing dog. And then as you're ready, inhale, left leg comes up and back. Take your knee towards your left wrist as we set up for pigeon pose on the opposite side. Bringing your left ankle in the same plane as your right wrist. Take a look over your right shoulder for your right leg. Extend it out. Make sure that your heel is pointing straight up. Press your left toes in toward the mat. Bring your arms alongside your body. Shoulder blades back, send your chin upward. Pressing down to the tops of your right feet. And then as you're ready, exhale. Start to come forward to your pigeon pose. Notice if there's any places you're holding tension, maybe your right bum, maybe your fingertips. What happens when you let go? As you're ready, start to press your hands to the mat. Lift your way up. You'll drop your hips to the left. Give yourself lots of space to take your right leg around. Left foot in towards your right thigh. Again, hands to your thighs, your bum. Move that flesh away. Inhale, lift up. Big stretch, and then reach your heart for your shin. Take your hands, let them land wherever they do. Inhale, lift out halfway, break your pose. And then exhale, re-enter it. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, Release, come to sit up, left fingertips behind you. Place your palms in mat about 12 inches away. Sweep your left arm around, come into your stargazer pose. Press into left shin, right foot, towards your right middle finger or beyond. And then on an exhale, come down your hips, spiral all the way back. Over your hands and knees, press back to Balasana, child's pose. Your knees could be wide or close together. What makes the most sense for you? Once you get there, we'll be there for 5 breaths. After your 5th exhale, lift up slightly and then just slither all the way down onto your belly and then flip-flop onto your back. You're going to walk your heels in a little bit closer toward you, your arms alongside your body. We're going to take a bridge flow. If you prefer to take Utkatasana or a more traditional bridge, I invite you to move there. I will be guiding through a bridge flow. Press through your feet. Inhale, lift your hips up, reach your arms up and back. Perhaps you can lift up through your heels. And then on an exhale, lay your spine back down. All the way down, your hands and your heels will drop. Inhale, lift up. Wave all the way up. And then on an exhale, articulate every curve of your spine on your way back down. And then once more like that. If you're in Urdhva Dhanurasana or bridge pose, make sure that you come down safely. And then cross your right ankle over left thigh. Without using your hands, start to bring your left thigh in towards your chest and then take your hands to the back of your left thigh or to your shin, whatever feels best for you here. Exhale, release that. Uncross your legs, cross your left ankle over your right thigh without using your hands. Pull your right thigh close to your chest as far as you can go. And then interlace fingers if you would like, perhaps opposite way. Release the thigh, let your foot come down. And cross. Take your feet a little bit wider than your hips, maybe closer to the edges of your mat. Drop both knees over to the right. Option to take your right ankle and place it over your left thigh heel. If you took that extra weight option, uncross the ankle. Bring your knees up to center and then windshield wiper over toward the left. And if it feels right, cross left ankle over right thigh. If you took the crisscross option, uncross. Start to bring your knees back up toward the center. Heel toe your feet back in so that your knees and your heels and your hips are generally in the same line. Pull your knees in close to your chest. For winter leaving pose, if you prefer to take a happy baby pose, and start to move in that direction. And then begin to release that posture. Place your feet in toward the mat. The final posture of this class is going to be Shavasana. My recommendation, if you would like it, is to end this class in a Supta Baddha Konasana as you engage through Shavasana instead as a variation. If you prefer to take a more traditional Shavasana or another pose, please do. It is going to best suit you. If you're taking the Supta Baddha Konasana, enter the same way we did toward the beginning of class. Taking a hand variation that makes the most sense for you, with our arms are out wide, hand on heart and belly, or something else that speaks to you. Allow your eyes to close. And slowly begin to remove muscular activity, becoming as soft and quiet and still as you can be, while still maintaining consciousness. Making as little movement as possible, take one hand to your heart and one hand to your belly, if you do not already. Breathe all the way down to the lowest part of your belly, and your hand maybe even slightly rise, coming out through your midsection to your chest. And then as you exhale, feel the reverse. Drifting your thoughts back to the dedication you've said, whether it is Ahimsa or something else. And if things have been jarred and shifted, then things have been jarred and shifted. When you're ready, very carefully, from whatever posture you've chosen, make your way over onto your right side. There's no rush, so take as much time as you need. And then spin several breaths on your side in a partial fetal position. Giving acknowledgement to this transition. And then make your way to a seated posture for a very brief reflection and meditation. The whole purpose of this physical practice to prepare ourselves for meditation. On an inhale, reach your arms out and up, palms press above you, send your chin up. And on an exhale, take your thumbs to space between your eyebrows for clarity of thought, to your lips for clarity of speech, and to your heart for clarity of action. Bow your head to your heart, honoring yourself, offering yourself kindness, generosity, and non-harm. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and helping me to deepen my own personal practice. I am eternally grateful for you. In the name of the highest good, namaste.